Good morning. I have a radio here that's faulty. The people say they saw smoke or something when they come out, but it looks a fine, nice radio. It's a Telefunken with obviously you can have a USB in with music or a memory card, but it looks sturdy and it looks nice. It's not like the cheap China ones. Let's open it and see if I can see what is the issue with it. Normally when you first go and strip it, and the funny thing is with any radio, old radio, when you get it, there's always a faulty antenna. Normally antenna is broken off, and when you make sure, and inside the battery compartment there's also a screw always sitting there. You're gonna take this thing out. Let's put all the screws away, otherwise you're gonna go look for it. There's another one. That one is not out yet. Okay, now we can open it. And the top is also 2 screws. All the back panel screws is out now. Let's just open it here slowly, because the battery wires is always from the battery compartment, is always there. You can see there is this is quite funny. See, there is a lithium battery inside. This is for nowadays. You get this lithium batteries everywhere. You can somewhat see when I open it, I can see here is a transformer smoked. There's damage there. So this tiny transformer that is from the AC to make DC, to rectify it, and then it obviously run the whole radio. Just for interest sake, you can see this. This is still an old type of radio. If you can see this pot, we just use it to call it a pot. When you adjust your signal, then there's little plates that is a variable capacitor, actually what it is. But this is still good radios. Then you have your preamp and a main amp. The main amps normally sit there with a if you see there's a little heat sinks on the thing, on the IC. This is normally main amp, and your volume control. But this is, and here's a module on top here that runs all the the extra inputs. This is like a little bit newer thing. And what I can do first, I'm just going to put some supply on here. I'm going to put just my power supply. Then we can see if we can make it work. You can see this is a 3-cell, so it's a 4.5 volt. So I'm going to put my positive there, and your negative here in the bottom here. You can see there it goes. See, it works. Just gonna get a decent station here. So it's just working. So obviously, I'm just gonna take it off.
And arguing about a game, and it's still.
See, now I can see there's still power now left from the small voltage that the battery was charging. Now it works. So all we need is to replace this little transformer, but you have to find out. You need to find out what is the rating of the thing, the output, to be able to. But that we will find out now. Okay. I'm just gonna put my soldering iron. We're just gonna take off some of these wires. That's too long. Normally if you take out the antenna wire, then you can work on it. But we can somewhere go and take this thing out. Put a screw there, and you put a screw there. Now we can lift this little transformer. Okay, I'm gonna just desolder the antenna here. They can work on it. So now I can flip it a little bit. Okay. This thing is so glued in here, you can't get the bloody thing out. It's too hot. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna do is quickly look how brittle it is. It was, I think they write this thing too small and then it heats up. You see, look at the wires here. You can still see. I'm just gonna clean this. We can reuse it later. And so this is the primary. The secondary comes here. The secondary comes out. Now, how do you determine? I just want to put this on to make this battery flat. What I'm going to do, just to make it easy, I'm just going to cut this wire just to take the supply off. And now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to clean these wires. Now you can see the blue wires is here. This is the AC, and what happens then, they rectify it normally. You'll see there's maybe diodes in the bottom there, and they rectify it and then smooth it, and then it's DC. Now what I'm going to do, you take your power supply and then you take the voltage at least to 3 volt to start very low. Then you put DC in by this input. And now we're going to go and slowly up the power supply voltage. And we put the volume a little bit on, and then we're going to see where this thing starts working. You can see here by 3 volts. I'm reading it here on my... So I put 5 volt in. So 5 volt will be enough. 3 volt, a standard power supply module is 5 volt. Now what we're going to do is it will charge, and it will somewhat charge the battery this side as well. Because this is 3.7 volt or 4.2 volt maximum charge is your lithium batteries. And then we can just replace it with a normal, what do you call it, a cell phone charger. Let me just get one here. Oh, sorry. Now what you do, you somewhat take a standard cell phone charger, and we're going to modify it and we're going to build it in here. As long as we don't just make space for it. The speaker is lying here, and we're going to just make it the little PC board there, and then we're going to wire it, and then it will do the job. Then it's going to replace this transformer. So this is a little bit old. Look at this thing is broken now. I think this is the best way to do it. Or you can maybe you keep this outside and put a different plug in for an extra 5 volt input, but then it's easier to make this fit inside here. Okay, let's just go get a spare one, and then we build it in there. Okay, I'm gonna use, this is the insides of one of those chargers, a 5 volt. I'm gonna do, I just want to check quickly. I'm gonna put this AC on here. Just gonna solder wires on here. Oh, the thing. Sorry for that. Okay, just solder quickly here. The points on here. And then your okay, there's your AC. I'm just gonna get my multimeter and just gonna wind my cables around here. Come on. Just positive ground, and there's your positive. But in DC now I'm gonna plug it in. We're gonna see what is the voltage coming out there. If you can somewhere show you my multimeter here. You can see there's 5 volt, 5.2 volt. So this will be okay. So we're gonna just undo this. And I can use this one now for to run this whole board. I think this is probably like a half amp or something, but it's good enough. Let's put this away. Okay, let's just quickly see how you can explain how this cell phone chargers work. Here's, you'll see here's the isolation is 2 parts here. Here's the AC coming in. Gets rectified by 4 diodes. There's your fuse. And you will check, you'll see the capacitor is also 400 volt for this high voltage. And then here's a switcher, and then it switches this high frequency coil transformer on the primary side, the secondary side, and then they just rectify it again. And there's a auto coupler just for feedback, and there's something for spiky, I think for spikes between the 2 sides, and then your 5 volts coming out. This is how it works. So this is how easy these things, they make these things. This is more, you get ones that's a little bit cheaper than this. Okay, but then you just mark, just click where's the positive, negative, that you know where's what. You can, I normally take a small screwdriver and you just make a mark there, a minus. Then you know that's a minus point. And you can scratch there on the positive. Then you know what is what. Then we can go and I'm gonna take this off now. And we're gonna do this. But it's not gonna actually make a okay, but you see here, now this output we're gonna put in here. But this is an AC input, so it doesn't matter which one is which one. But because it's gonna rectify it anyway. Then you just solder here. Gonna see if it's still in focus here. I can see where I work. And just cut it. Now you can go solder those 2 points. You can see now this the output is going out to where it's supposed to go. And now I just need to take these 2 wires and put it by the AC input. I have to go and skin this 2 wires here. So now I cut this. What they put so little coils in this wires, you can't believe it. It's like they want to save copper. Okay, now it's in the AC side now. You can put it there. Okay, there's the AC side now. You just put this here. And now I can go plug into 220 here, the supply, and then see if this output is gonna work with the radio. Then we can somehow maybe just put tape around here and stick it in the battery compartment, because you're not going to use that battery. We need space now. Okay, I plug into 20 volt here. AC, DC in the radio. Sometimes when what happens, this is a very noisy supply. This thing is because it's working on high frequency, it can maybe interference with the electronics here. But let's see how it goes. At least as we can get this charge this battery. Okay, let's unplug this stuff now. Just gonna use this now. Okay, now let's just go and put back this wire here. Come on. We solder these wires again. You just get a piece of sleeving. Get a piece of sleeving here. And solder there. Now put your sleeving back, and we take your torch and you fix that sleeving. Okay, now the battery is organized again. Now what we're going to do now, we need to put this thing inside the battery compartment. But the first thing to do is we need to figure out which is the best way now. First thing now is maybe undo this little cable tie here to get that wires released here. This blue wires. Somebody tells me I'm gonna do like this and just put tape around here and stick it in the back. So now what you do, you get some masking tape. Just tell the person who going to operate the radio that doesn't open there in the back and try to put batteries in there. Okay, now I think that is good enough. Now this thing, now what you do, you go and you stick this inside here. Come on, man. See, there it goes. Okay, there's inside now there. And everything is, you can just put this cable tie back now here. Where's my cable tie? You can always take a new cable tie. A normal cable tie. Put it in there. Okay, now we need to put the antenna back. Remember we took it out. Okay, now let's go clean the insides here. We just take all this gunk from the transformer. We throw it out. Oh, this battery is loose now. See, this is also hot glue. When you get something like this, you someone heat up that hot glue. Then you go stick that battery again there. And it won't come off again. Very versatile tool this. Very nice. Okay, now let's put the stuff back together again. So here's your speaker and your it looks together. Okay, let's just put at least one screw in the back that it doesn't come loose. You can see now if you open the battery compartment, that little thing is sticking here. You can somewhere go and put extra tape around here. It doesn't shock the persons whoever is gonna work in here. Okay, now let's test it. Now let's go and we put pull the antenna out a little bit. We also go now this antenna thing that breaks off. This is made from this brass. So you can always maybe try to solder that you can put a screw or something on the top here that the person can quickly take it out if he wants to. We will do that now. We're going to clean it. Okay, let's just put the power on now. We're going to play it.
Important. It can also reduce the risk of allergies.
Okay.
Yes, especially if the mother is breastfeeding exclusively for the first.
So I think it's working properly. So now that I think what you can do, I'll test it now. You take the supply off the 220.
To give a formula feed
and you wait till that battery runs down. Till battery runs down, and then you can
it protects the baby.
see if the. But obviously we knew it's gonna work. But
it reduces the allergies.
I'm just gonna put the volume loud so that the battery can run down quickly.
Exclusively breastfeed.
And then I'm gonna come back to you.
6 months.
Okay, I'm back. What you do, you just take a file and just clean that all the dirt and the stuff, as I said, and then you go and you put a screwdriver. There's an insert. I put it. Then you can grab it nicely. Then you take now your soldering iron, and you're gonna solder that part there. The thing is very stubborn. He doesn't want to solder. Now what is the case here? Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't want to take the solder. Doesn't want to take here. It's supposed to be brass. Maybe the heat is not enough. Maybe just take a thick point or something. This is not good. So I'm gonna maybe leave that little thing. I'm gonna maybe just put a little screw in here or something just to make it well. Let's get something. Okay, I put a small screw in here. Let's just see if you can't get this thing in there. sien jy, sommer cut his own thread. Just to may have a point that you can take your finger and pull it out. I think that will work. It can maybe work for now. Let's screw this thing a little bit more in. Then we're almost there. I think it's alright for now. See, now you can pull it. There's a point. You can grab with your hand. Okay, there's your radio. I'm gonna plug it in now, let it can charge, and just because you have to check the thing, can't just deliver it. You have to quickly give it some time to charge and see if this whole effect is working. Then feel maybe the PC board if it doesn't overheat. They just put back all the screws. The screw is not long enough. That one. That one there. Now I have to put. So now we can maybe skip that one in the bottom there, because there's that PC board is now there, but that's fine. As long as we have now. There's another one here. No screw in there. Okay, I think there's not enough screws in to keep it. Then you just take some spiritus, methylated spirits, take a cloth and clean the thing, man. Clean. Look, you'll amazed by how dirty stuff is. All the years of the working, you go and you clean the thing nicely to make it look decent again. You see somebody use earphones or headphones a lot because there's marks here. And the funny thing is, if there's sugar on or like a sticky stuff, you don't get it, you can't clean it with spirits. You may need water. Spirits doesn't clean sugar. That is a funny thing. Okay, just close the spiritus. And there's my radio. I'm gonna just FM.
The link.
And then let's plug it in, and then I'm gonna leave it for a while to charge. And just gonna open there in the back, and then you just feel that that old PC board doesn't heat up, and then you know everything looks fine. Then it's fine. Okay, this is how to modify a faulty radio transformer. Just for interest sake. I hope you enjoyed this video. Till next time. Cheers.